Hey everyone, my name is Snuffleupagus. I haven't had too many of these videos, so this is still one of the new ones for you and for me. Uh, I'm reaching out to all of you because on late Sunday night, I watched a very, very good game of Fury of Dracula as part of the Immortal Invitational tournament between PirateJoe and Backstab, and that's what I'm going to tell you about today. Um, Here with me is someone very special, Rossco. Why don't you say hello?
Yes. Hello, hello. Those of you may recognize my dulcet tones from other YouTuber videos, Scotsword notably. I'm honored and privileged to be here with you for, I don't know if this is your inaugural video into this Fury, but I'm looking forward to doing some commentary. I didn't see the game, so this is fresh to me. And I look forward to doing some post-game analysis with you, my friend.
That sounds great. Yeah. So as background, this is week 2 of the Immortal Invitational tournament. Um, the hunters are played by Pirate Joe of Team PirateWizard, and the Dracula is played by Backstab or Sir Backstab of the High Lords of Low Waters. Um, so you'll note this is not like the highest quality recording. Occasionally you might see me, typing stuff on this screen here, or me getting distracted and some bubbles lasting a little longer than they should. Just bear with me. There's also a couple of bugs in this game. Fortunately, I'm going to do a minor spoiler. The bugs are not game crashing. They're not fatal, but there are a few times where we have to do some, the players need to do some logging out, logging back in to make everything work smoothly. So we may skip ahead of those points. Um, so yeah.
Sounds good. I can
So
see here, first of all, I can see that, so I've previous tournaments I've been involved in, so I've played Digital Fury from almost its inception from Nomad 2019, I think it was. Back when in the community it was almost virtually just myself, Quincy, and Mr. Green. So the games back then were a lot more limited to who you could play against. Um, PirateJoe has gone for his setup, which I've seen here. He tends to do a separate one with Godalming and Mina, as opposed to the current meta, which is two of them are on one location. I've seen him in the past do a setup where he had Mina in Milan and Godalming there, and he would effectively move them all around to do pretty early region searches. He's not afraid to worry about the supply. He'll sort of jump on, you can check Germany, you can check Italy, and check France here within sort of 3 days if you get the movement. Um, which sounds a bit maybe madcap and mayhem, but actually, if Dracula's sitting in France thinking, I've got a lot of time here, in 3 days he could be caught. So it's a different setup, which is always great. But yeah, I've noticed he's still doing the same, so that's interesting.
yep, yep. That is interesting. It does create some kind of guesswork on Dracula's part as to which one of those regions between Austria, Hungary, Germany, or Italy is going to get scanned first, if any.
Mm.
So,
And I guess because you've got then Madrid covered with Spain with Seward, and you've got Van Helsing in the UK, effectively then the regions almost become where it's almost herding a player to start in the east, so that you don't risk losing, getting hit in Europe, which then means if you do pull a hired scout, if you get two in the first week, fantastic. You could effectively write off four locations in Baltica and rule that out. Then that's one region, removed. So yeah, it can make the map shrink sort of slightly.
yeah, and I will say, one thing I'm excited about with this game, recording it 4 days later. I remember how this game ends. I don't really remember anything about the beginning or middle of this game, so it's almost new for me too. So, yeah, we will see where Backstab starts.
Yes, yes. Oh, of course, yes. I've just that'll be interesting to see. Of course, the new meta, or the beta rather, or the new game, which is great, takes it back to the board games that I'm used to, where Dracula's trail will remove first before he has to move himself, which I think it will make a great difference. Like I've said in the past, it was always my main bugbear about it was Dracula's having to wait. He has to move first before his trail ends. And now this allows a lot more Dracula freedom of movement, because you know that you can get a wolf form back quicker before you move. You can plan ahead as Dracula, and you can strategize, I think, a lot easier, knowing what your system is going to be. Otherwise, you tend to try to make sure that you don't cul-de-sac or put yourself into a corner. If you've already got misdirect on the trail and you want to go back because the hunters have blocked off an area, it became quite difficult for Dracula. Whereas now you do have that freedom, which is hats off to Nomad for changing that.
Yeah, I agree. It frees up a lot of opportunities for Dracula. In particular, I think it's going to make UK starts a little bit more viable, since there your options of moving are so limited that every one additional space you have is substantial. So
Agree.
I don't know if we've seen many UK starts in the tournament yet, but I don't know. We'll see. I imagine we might
We've seen
see
a couple.
more in the future.
Yeah, and typically you'll see there's more so it's a end game destination, especially if you know hunters have already, or if they've already played their consecrated grounds. The UK is a good place to go to. They've got to try and get to you if they haven't got excellent weather. Typically by end game they may have already used it, and again, because of the trail, you can spend there a lot longer if you plan the oceans correctly and how to land the other oceans. So if you went North Sea, English Channel, North Atlantic, or whatever, the oceans are going to come back off before you run out of time on there. So you can effectively just circumnavigate the island. The hunters are just trying to either clean up a trail or try to find you. And if you only have a couple of days to go to get your Fury, I think we'll see a lot more of that now as end game destination.
Yeah, 2 points with regard to that. One, if anyone is watching this now and hasn't already seen Rossco's co-commentary on the game between, was it PirateWizard and
Spencer?
Spencer Wolfhart, that was recorded yesterday. There was some UK, there was some interactions in UK in that game, and I highly recommend anyone listening to this go check that one out, because it was an incredible game. I want to say it was
Hell
on
of a game.
Scotsword's channel. Um,
Yes.
if you are watching this video on my channel and you haven't heard of Scotsword before, you don't exist. There's literally no one on the planet who would have watched my channel without having already seen Scotsword's channel. But uh, for those of you hypothetical people out there, it's Scott, Scot, sword, like slicing around with a sword, not Scott's word, spelled the same.
Yeah.
Look it up on
To be
YouTube.
honest,
Go find it. You're gonna love it. I promise you that. Highly recommend watching that game.
that was a hell of a match. No spoilers. So while waiting for things to happen here, from your point of view, then Snuff, have you played the board game previously, or was the digital your first introduction? How did you get introduced to Fury of Dracula?
That was it's a great question. I want to say I played the board game once. I don't own it. I would like to buy it
Mhm.
sometime soon. But I want to say I played it once with a informal board game group. Maybe has to be like 8 years ago now, give or take. Back when I was living in the DC area,
Well,
we had some friends
right.
who would host these once in a while, and a friend just happened to have it. So I played one game. I was very into it because I had seen the Will Wheaton tabletop video of the game and it looked great.
Yeah,
But I just
yeah.
hadn't touched Fear of Dracula until end of December, when I was just kind of bored and discovered the digital edition. Ooh,
Oh,
interrupting myself there on that spiel. Not Klausenberg or Sophia. That's a
mm-hmm.
good check with hired
Makes
scouts.
sense. Yeah, it makes sense.
Yep. Especially with this
And
setup.
again, we saw there where Klausenberg has to be checked because Mina's not in the region. Typically, if Mina is sitting with Godalming, Draculas have to be very bold, very brave, or very stupid to start, even just to dip in, at the risk of Mina doing a night search on Psychic Bond. So that shows you there. Klausenberg typically wouldn't be a search item, I think, if Mina does start on the I think as it's termed, the Scotsword start. So it opens up, as we see there, it opens up the map that other areas have to be checked, because Klausenberg could have been Galaz or could have been somewhere else in Baltica. Oh, here's a hide search, I would imagine.
Ooh,
Here we go.
okay.
Oh,
Constanta.
Constanta.
That's a pretty
Okay,
early discovery of Dracula right there.
indeed.
But
Well,
Constanta's tough,
Constantinople.
especially because you have Mina a little bit further away from it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the hunters are really helped here by finding it so early that they can prepare for it. Because I always forget if Constanta is 17 or 56. I think it's 56.
Oh, 17 Constanta. 56 is
Varna.
Varna.
Okay, 17 is Constanta. So that is, it's going to take at least 2 turns for Godalming to get to, and Mina would take even longer, right?
Mm.
Assuming that Godalming has fast horses, it'll take 2 spaces to jump the.
And it does, yeah, you're right. And there's argument to start in Varna rather than Constanta, because even if Dalming has chartered carriage, he can get to Constanta in one go, but with Varna, it's one more train track.
Yes.
So chartered wouldn't even get there with renewed vigour, which that extra day might make the difference. So there's arguments for both. I mean, if he doesn't have it, he doesn't have it. But Varna just gives you that one extra train track that could be the difference between maturing and not. Either way, it's an east coast, it's fine, everything's as it is. Again, there we see now that Mina, as you say, she is one step removed from Godalming, and there is no train track between Munich and Godalming, so she can't even jump there. It's got to be if she hasn't got fast horses, it's got to be a one move just to get to the track. So there's the other argument, I guess, about starting with Godalming, that you're already on a rail track, which then gives you access. If people start in Hamburg or various others, you can get to these areas relatively quickly. Problem is, you're going into a region which has got very little, or certainly the least of the whole map on rail travel. So you've got to make sure your horses or your movement is up to speed with it. It's not just restricted to trains, because if the tickets don't come out, and again they're yellow lines, which is just a pain, so you don't typically get, hunters obviously are holding tickets to try and get their fast horse economy up, which typically means they don't hold many yellow numbers, which then means you're only moving one rail potentially at a time. So a lot to think about.
Yeah, absolutely. And I guess one other complication of this is that you have Constanta with the rumor token now, which means it's probably a vampire. That's probably Backstab trying to score a quick 7 points right off the bat. And there's a hide over it. So even if Godalming or Mina were to get to Constanta, like with the charter carriage,
Oh,
right? That's a
there we
great
go.
play.
Okay.
Because here's the deal: there could be something under the hide that could cause a delay to Godalming. Um,
hmm
sorry,
I think
as I was playing this, as I was recording this, I was occasionally checking my phone or not quite paying attention. So there are a few of these where I linger on this a little too long. Just to decide as I go if I should, in these situations, skip ahead a little bit. Oh, there we go.
that's okay. That's yeah, you're okay. That's
Yeah.
fine.
This was the third game of the day that I had watched and recorded, and the
Oh wow.
previous two were both streamed by someone else. I think both times Scotsword, or maybe somebody else. So by this time, at the end of the night, I was a little bit tired and
Well,
distracted.
that's a marathon. Yeah, God, you'll feel like you've been playing in them if you watch three back to back. That's crazy.
Yeah, I think I did play in one of them.
Okay.
Seward's got fast horses. Also, it's interesting that there was no ambush on Godalming when he landed in Constanta.
Hmm. Yeah,
That's something of a
yeah.
surprise.
So that makes me think it's either an aristocratic, um, maybe throwing a hoax down. But yeah, you would normally try and do a damage at least, or perhaps he's hoping that Godalming hasn't got a stake and it's going to be double vamps. And then he searches at night, and it could, potentially you got a chance of doing some serious damage to Godalming. If
Yeah,
he dies, he
yeah, I
can't do
agree.
it, and he goes back to the hotel, the hospital. So that may be the strategy, but it's risky. I mean, you have to keep, this early in the game. I guess you're kind of working out, are there any stakes in the discard pile rather. Um, But it's very risky. You're doing it. It's later easy in game because you can look at the discard pile and see if all the stakes are done. Then you don't mature with a vampire. You let them attack at night and do some more damage. But yeah, he's pulled the trigger right on Chartered Carriage. He got there. We said if he was in Varna, he wouldn't have got there today, and then it would have been tomorrow, and then he would have jumped on it, and then potentially if that is a delay, it could be a bats that pushes him back. Oh wow! Right, okay. Right.
And a Saboteur. See, that's interesting.
Maybe an error from Backstab there. I think maybe, certainly with Reckless, you ambush immediately because you've got the chance of a point per fang bite.
Well, what's
He
interesting
wasn't.
here is that I'm guessing that Backstab probably assumed he was going to get staked because there was still quite a lot of time left for that vamp to mature. Maybe he just thought, okay, if I'm going to get staked anyway, I may as well just have the Saboteur trigger at night so that Godalming loses a day phase rather than a night phase with that delay. Which I think makes sense under the circumstances.
No. I think if he could have ambushed just as the Drac and left the Saboteur, because then Van Helsing, Godalming obviously would just want to try and escape. That would be his MO, is to escape that fight. So he'd be trying to do the escape, dodge, mesmerise, try and escape. So I think you could have potentially, if you managed to get two fangs off, you would have had 2 points on the board anyway. Then Godalming has to search at night with a stake, and he would have triggered the Saboteur anyway.
Oh, I
And then
see.
Godalming would have been delayed for the following day, as well as the vampire die. If it's going to die, you're
Right.
right. If it's going to die, it dies. But you'd rather get something out of it than nothing. So maybe he's not. I don't know how new Backstab is to the games. Maybe he thought he would get a chance. I'm not sure.
So you make a very good point there, and it would have been beneficial, I think, to have the potential for some points from the reckless ambushing. The only other thing I can think of that Backstab might have been thinking is maybe he wanted to pretend to be an aristocratic vampire and hope that his stake didn't get used this first time around.
Yes.
That way he could have a
Yeah.
fight with the reckless at night. I mean, certainly it's pretty common if you have a non-fighting vampire, especially when you're going for an extremity location, to use that first, thinking that the hunter might not get there at all, right? Because it might not even get noticed until it's too late. Maybe he was
Mm-hmm.
hoping that Godalming might not have a stake and might try to treat it like an aristocratic, which could make sense.
No, that's a fair point. Yeah, he could have been trying to bait him. No, you're right. That's a fair point. I think. I think the stage of the game this was, you would click on the discard pile and see that there's no stakes. You'd have to assume, especially how fast Godalming went out there with the Charted. He's obviously going there with a purpose. My thoughts initially would be, right, okay, he's got a stake. He's Chartered Carriage. He doesn't use fast horses or variant. So I would always just want to try and get something out of that. But no, you're right. If he didn't have the stake and he jumped on at night, then yeah, it would have been difficult. He would have a night battle with Reckless and then delayed anyway. And then the Reckless, if it doesn't die, is still there on the last day. He still has no stake. So you're absolutely right. That could have turned around to be a mature in the end and some damage to Godalming. But I guess that's the risks you take when you make your. And that's the thing with this game is fantastic. It's how much time do you spend on your own strategy, or how distracted do you get by thinking of the hunters, vice versa. And you can only control your own strategy and what you have in your hand.
Yep, that is certainly true. It's there's such a balance between playing what you think is optimal and trying to play around what you think the other player will do. There's some tension between those two goals that you have to balance as you play, which is part of the interesting thing about this game.
Really is, yeah. I mean, you've got combat, especially. I like the beta now has changed. Obviously, with combat now, they both flip at the same time. But yeah, I mean, it's some of those where you're assuming the other player has this, this, and this, and if they don't, then do you not play your card because you're thinking they have, but you've bluffed yourself into thinking they have it? Or do you just kind of think of us, right, okay. I think one of the things that we look at, I think it's been mentioned a couple of times, which does make sense, is looking at the motivation of especially the hunters when they go into a combat, but also Dracula, I guess. Does a hunter want to try and kill that vampire, or are they trying to escape? And if the other player can work out, which you can kind of work out by, okay, have they got a stake or not, you can then work your combat to then become more of a, right, you don't want them to escape, so you can try and restrict them. You can maybe do mesmerize their escape. They might try and throw a dodge, so if you've got plotting, you could play that. There's so many permutations to it, whereas if you know that Godalming jumped on and you know that in his hand he has got no fast horse or stake, it's 3 conventional, the chances are he's not going to really try and use escape, he's going to try and take you out. So therefore your defense has to be balanced with your offense as well. So many things. Bucharest.
Yeah.
Ah, right. Round houses. Okay, so he's done a Varna, Sofia.
Just like we all predicted, right?
Yeah. Ah. Ah. That was
So
funny because Sofia was checked, I think, with hired scouts when Klausenberg was. He wasn't there. So he's obviously been in Varna and hid. And then the hired scouts triggered.
well, he hit in Constanta, then must have went to
Oh,
Varna,
Varna, sorry, yeah.
then triggered, then Sofia, Bucharest, and now he's either in Glatz or Klausenberg, presumably Klausenberg. I don't know. I can't think of why you would want to go to Glatz there, but could be.
Belgrade, maybe. Belgrade to try and get, maybe hoping the hunters
Oh, you're
zoom
right.
past him and then go past. He's still got wolf form, which is fine. Yeah, a bit unfortunate. His first 2 days obviously hides irrelevant now, so the first 2 days are ignored. The trail's only down to 4.
Belgrade. That road to Belgrade's a little bit hard to see. I miss that sometimes.
There
Yeah,
is.
that's right.
There's 3. You've got the Belgrade one. You've got the road from Naples to Rome, 45 to 40. Very few. You can hardly even see there is actually a road going there. And also Saragossa to Bordeaux is quite hidden because of being right on the coastline. So yeah, there's almost like hidden trails there that if you're not aware of it, there used to be one for the channel where Van Helsing is now. The Marseille up to Nuremberg used to be a great little wolf form away because it was almost, you go up to 60 then 41, and it's almost kind of missed, because of the colouring of the map and the region. You could get away from there, and people just didn't really check it. And now they do, but. Yeah, there is. You've got to watch which ones. And for example, I mean, there isn't a road going, Belgrade to Szeged. You can't get there, so you'd have to go round to Saragossa rather. Sorry, I beg your pardon. Sarajevo. So, yeah, you need to turn up the contrast on your laptop, or or buy yourself the boxed version, because the boxed edition you actually get yourself not just the map that you have to play on the board, but you also get Dracula's own personal kind of postcard shaped map as well, which has got all the roads, all the details, which is a great little touch by the makers of the game, because it means rather than Dracula player poring over the map and the other hunters watching where he's looking, he can just look at his own map and make his own move without actually giving away with the eyes where he could be. So yeah, another great little touch.
Yeah, I had initially, when I was starting to play this game, 3, 4 months ago, I printed out a paper copy of the map, hoping that would help me out. And
Mm.
the problem was, I think I printed out like the third edition map or an earlier edition, and there's some errors, not errors, but like differences from the thing I printed out and the current edition with regard to
Ah,
the roads and rails in the middle of Europe. So I had to print out a new one after when
you,
I realized that there's not a road between, I think, Munich and Strasbourg.
you
So,
just hate these Google Map updates.
yeah. All right,
See,
so
these technology problems back in the 18th century, crazy. Okay, so he's
so
holding
now,
off. This is interesting. So he's let him go. Interesting.
so I have to assume he's trying to slink southward to escape these 3 hunters, but he could be trying to slip
Mm.
past them to the west. They haven't had that much time to supply, so he's not in
No,
Klausenberg.
that is. Yeah, I was wondering that he's Laird Constanta, which makes sense.
So that means he has to have gone to Belgrade.
Here we go. Yep, because Sophia was already on the map. Yep, that's right.
Yeah.
He didn't wolf form, so Belgrade now, and he's not there. He's obviously, he could be up in 53 Szeged, or he could be up in Budapest.
Uh, Budapest. I think it could be Sarajevo or Szeged. I think those are the two options. because he had to go to Belgrade. All right, so we got wolves here. Let's catch what that was. All right, we'll leave it at that. Let's see what happens with these wolves if weapons are revealed or if there's some damage to Seward.
That's Seward, yeah.
Seward heals so quick, it's not the worst thing in the world to just take the damage.
Well, that's it. I mean, here's the thing. I'm looking at it there. This is daytime, so typically you wouldn't ambush with that because he'll just reheal tonight, and you want him to do a different event at night time. So anything like that, I wouldn't. Really, I only ambush with reckless because that's when you're going to get or new. So for that one, you would leave it. Let Seward check it at night. He would then take the damage. Then that's his night supply done, which means the following day he still has two damage, and he's then got to move around. Which if he moves on to something else, he could take some more damage. So yeah, those kind of things. And then, wait, listen, if the hunter's got a dog, it's academic. But for those kind, just if there's anybody new or what have you, don't jump on it straight away. Just let them search for you at night time. Because now he'll heal. There you go. So it's like the wolf may as well just not been there.
Yeah, exactly. And we've revealed a rifle, and who even knows if the rifle will still be there by the time he fights Dracula. You know, that is a rifle is something of an expendable weapon. So, yeah, I agree with you that it would have been probably more optimal to wait for nighttime to let Seward search for that wolf.
Yeah. And I've seen Hunter play in the past where actually you wouldn't even you wouldn't reveal the rifle. You would take 4 damage, but then heal 2 at night and you heal 2 the next day, and it just keeps your hand more discreet from Dracula. Whereas obviously Dracula now will have a note to say that Seward's got a rifle. Depending on how you want to play, it all comes down to the hunter's kind of approach with that. But I guess for that one, yeah, reveal the. I mean, he's got plenty in his hand. Reveal the rifle, full health again. You're on to the next. You're on to the next one now. So Seward, you would imagine, is going to go and check Varna tomorrow, and he's obviously wanting to get full health, which makes sense. So yeah, that's not a problem.
Makes sense to me. And I have to
Still no
imagine.
wolf form.
Still no wolf form. So he could have gone Belgrade. It had to be Belgrade, Sarajevo, or Szeged, and then moving from there.
Hmm.
I think I. How would you take it in this position? Would you head on down into Greece, or would you try to give the hunters the slip and go west in this situation?
It's a bit dangerous. So one inside knowledge. I've played PirateJoe many times, and that's some of the other thing that obviously you don't have the inside play. He can be a very aggressive hunter player, so he wouldn't think twice about jumping on Dracula if he found him. I think because Mina and Van Helsing are now in Munich, a wolf form is maybe less optimum. Even if I was in 59 now, you try and wolf form through. What do? You can't really go to 41 because Mina just does psychic bond and reveals you're in Germany. Ah, there you go. So he heads down the coast. If you've got a fog, you throw something there, try and block Seward. I think, yeah, he kind of, it's the only way he could have gone. And again, that's the thing about the East Coast start that again is open for debate. Yes, it's the furthest probably away, depending where hunters are situated. Oh, there's a fog. Has he got a forewarned? The problem is, though, when you start at the east, the only way to come back is you're actually heading into the hunters coming into you. And ideally, you want... Oh, there's a forewarned. Oh, wow. Okay. This could get difficult for Dracula. So Seward's got 4 items.
We know Seward has a
3
rifle.
Yep.
And it's cool that PirateWizard has hopped into this game just in time to watch his partner PirateJoe's first fight. That's exciting.
That's it. It's one of the 3 elements of this game. You know, it's deduction, it's search, it's combat. So to be good at it, you've got to be proficient at all 3. So we'll see what's happening with the combat. Sir Backstab is wondering what to do.
Yeah, well, so he was just hit by forewarned.
Oh, this could be the
I
first bug then.
I bet this is the first bug because there's
Yeah,
no way Backstab has anything to play here.
and there's
So
3 comments. I think you're right. Yeah, I remember you mentioned this. That there was one. There's a forewarned bug, so I think this will be a delay. They'll just pop out and come back in again. So,
let me
oh
skip
yeah, you
ahead
can skip forward.
slightly
Yeah, yeah, of course, yeah.
and see if that. Yep, they're relogging.
Okay, yeah.
Waiting for Sir Backstab. Oh, I also logged out myself just to make sure I wasn't the problem. Oh,
Oh, here we go.
all right. So I go back in and decide I'm going to spectate. Gentlemen, the
Yeah,
Snuffleupagus elephant-like, but not actually an elephant, peanut gallery has arrived again. There we go. And I'm ready to watch the first combat of the game. Wait,
that's excellent.
why does it say what Van Helsing's? Oh, it's playing the rest of Pirate Joe's day
Yeah,
phases, and then we will
yeah.
move on to the night combat. The show goes on, to quote
Indeed, it does.
Wolf of Wall Street.
Mm.
Very timely, since we did see Wolves attack Seward last turn.
It's been a tough first week for Drac. I'm not going to lie. Plans have gone awry. I didn't mean that to rhyme either, but yeah, Constanta was pretty much taken care of very quickly. Rules irrelevant. He's been found by Seward. Planned ambushes in play. Yeah, okay. His northern retreat is pretty much blocked off, so his option is only going to be go to sea now. And depending on what damage he takes here, there's no Sister Aggie in play though, which is a bonus. So that's something. So what's Seward going to do here? Strength is a good card to play if you have it, because it's only really countered by Heavenly Host, but he may have one. He's not going to play a conventional. There's a Heavenly
And
Host.
he does.
Wow.
Early 4
Yeah.
health for Drac. Or 4 damage to Drac. But here's the thing though with this, when it's this early, if Dracula can play the rest of the combat reasonably well, he can heal that.
Mm-hmm.
Although he does have to go to sea shortly. But
Yeah,
you know,
you can do that.
a good feed, a good soil can fix that pretty quick.
Mm. And it's a dusk fight. Now, we know that Seward has got a rifle, which is the problem, because it kind of rules out claws. Oh! Okay.
That's a lot harder to heal.
Yeah. Healing Faith is very difficult by all accounts. Strider, if you're watching this video, I'll need to send a link to him. This is for you. This is the infamous when he beat Quincy with Crucifix, followed by Does That Kill Him? So, yeah.
So a Heavenly Host
There's a
and
video-
a Crucifix. Very strong start for Pirate Joe.
Yep. Yeah, and that was good play, because typically Drac's not going to play Fangs on the first turn, so he got his Heavenly Host off quick. Then he's thinking he's going to try and mesmerise off Fang. That's very good comp. Yeah, so he got and it's 3 damage with the Crucifix.
And with the dodge now, Dracula's going to be worried about playing another Fangs. He'd love to heal, but I mean,
Well, that's it. And now escape's out of the question, because he knows he's got the rifle, which is anti-escape, bats. You know, the good thing is he's got a Crucifix, so you can work around that. Yeah, strength, yep, he's probably going to escape. No, okay, all right, okay. Burn the rifle, that's useful.
yeah, Seward's going for it. I mean, he's having a great combat. Do as much damage as you can early, and then make Dracula go to sea and limit his movement based on his health. Great place to be for hunters.
And then Seward heals up 2 at night, you know? It's like, oh god, so you really want to try and just get rid of him. Maybe a clause now if he's trying to escape. Oh, he's plotting. Oh!
Great time to
excellent,
plot.
okay. Great time, yeah. Wow, okay. So there's one more weapon he hasn't revealed yet, because I think he had 4 He's got a fast horses and 3 items, unless he's got a stake. But I think he had his rifle, he had his crucifix, and he had his heavenly. Oh, he's done them all. Oh, he's only got crucifix left. Right, okay. And you've got a buffer, right? Dracula. Yeah, I just play fangs and give him down to 1. Yeah, claws. Sorry. Yep, there we go.
That's
Yep,
good.
that's
Yep.
it. Take him down.
That's the play.
That's good. Take him down to 1.
Crucifix can't stop that. So now you have a 1 health John Seward and a beaten down Dracula, which puts Drac in an interesting position. I mean, you.
Here's depending on the movement of hunters, do you feed tomorrow and try and kill Seward?
Yeah, it's a tough
I'd
question.
be tempted to. I'd be
Right.
tempted to. Unless Van Helsing and Jesus, get their names right, Ross. Van Helsing and Mina, even if they've got fast horses, they can't get to Dracula this turn. But then you've got to remember about an apt comment there, Stuffalufficus. Problem is, if there's a renewed vigor kicking about and they get good rolls and they both have it, I mean, there's a lot of things I've got to line up. I'd be tempted to get some back here. I'd feed and take out Seward, and that's a nice little retribution for the damage you did to Dracula. Then you'd be back up to 11.
And we're going to see
And
a
you'd have
card
some
mature tier 2. We'll see what that card is.
Good point. Good point.
I can't remember what
Yes,
it was.
of
Hopefully
course,
it's not a
that'll
rat.
mature.
Hopefully it's something like a mob would be great. You could do 2 damage, right?
Oh, yes, yeah.
Or
Because he's
wolves.
got no. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, the crucifix is not classed as a conventional weapon, so it wouldn't trigger. Oh god, Seward getting taken out. So yeah, that Seward gets taken out by that would be great, and then Drac can just feed, or even move to Athens and then risk it. But I think he needs to try and get his health back up.
Yeah,
I mean, what would be ideal here is a desecrate. If you've got a desecrated soil, this would be the ideal card you want.
Yeah, at this point, I completely agree.
3 health.
Unless you can kill
Then I would
Seward,
still
right?
be tempted to feed. Yep.
You want 56 to be a soil or something that can kill Seward.
Yeah.
It's gonna be.
Make sure you click mature, please.
It's easier now with the beta.
It is, but even that.
Oh, but looks like he layered it.
Wow. Okay.
Maybe it was a
Must have
rat.
been. I think you're right then. It must be something shit like that, isn't it? Saboteur or something. What you do?
Oh no.
Oh no!
Nope, it's a mob.
Right.
Sure. Okay.
Alright. So yep. Seward's okay. He's got to get. So he's going to lose his fast horse potentially and his cross, or he dies.
Okay.
Yep.
I guess
probably lost the cross, I would imagine.
Well, he already lost the rifle, so he only had 2 items.
Yeah, so I would imagine he'd keep the fast horses for the travel.
So he kept his stuff, took the 2 damage, now he has 1 health left with which to fight Dracula at dawn.
Even more reason I would feed now is Dracula. Kill Seward, he then goes into hospital, and he then loses fast horses anyway, so he doesn't have that at all. Now, I don't know if it's changed in this, but what used to happen was, in a scenario like this, Dracula killed a hunter where he is at Valona for now. Dracula then had the choice of which hospital he wanted to then send the hunter to. Now, because equidistant city-wise, 11 and 45, Rome and Budapest, are the same distance. So you were actually able to put the hunter into Rome, into hospital, rather than it automatically going to 11, which then frees up the east because you don't have a hunter coming out of hospital, supplying all the rest of it. So I'll be interested if that's still the case in the beta, and if the Drac player knows about that. Likewise, if you do it in Marseille, you can actually put somebody in Rome, or you can put somebody in Madrid. Just a little useless information there. It can help your strategy if you're looking to go one way or the other.
Yeah, I think they're equidistant. He's in a hide. I don't like that. You should have fed. Hide does nothing since it's revealed.
No, hide does. Oh, I think that's just maybe a beginner.
I wonder if Backstab didn't realize that hide won't play a card.
No.
Or if it was just a misclick or what, but hide doesn't really make any sense to me here.
No, I think it's It's either a misunderstanding of the card or a misclick, one or two, but feed was the only way to go. So now as a hunter's, I mean, Seward will heal, will be up to 3, which isn't, yeah,
Well, he might
it's not
not.
the best.
He might not be able to heal to 3 because there's a dawn combat, so he might just die. We'll have to
Well,
see.
yeah, that's true. Yeah, play this right. You should be able to kill. You know and let's assume that he has thrown away Crucifix, although it'd be interesting if he hasn't and he's actually kept it.
Double
Either way, you can work around
claws.
it.
Double claws will
Yeah,
guarantee victory if you have it.
yeah.
I don't know if there's any other combination that would do that. We'll see.
See, that's that's because as Dracula now you think, right, okay, do I mesmerize because he's going to try to escape, and say he has kept the Crucifix. All of a sudden, Dracula's now down to 5. You know, it's like, okay, so I guess there is something
Could be a
to think
Pyrrhic
of.
victory, yeah, if you can do that crucifix and then kill him, you know.
But yeah, I think he would have got rid of the weapon, kept the fast horses because they're so important to the game. But then again, maybe if he thinks he's going to die anyway, do get rid of the fast horses and you keep the weapon.
A fang, that's bold.
He,
And it hits.
Wow.
The
Okay.
fangs hits. Dragon's going to heal too.
Great strength.
Oh, but he survives with great strength.
The problem is, even claws would have been saved by great strength because it's a dawn fight. It wouldn't be a double claw attack. So either way, he would have saved. He would have prevented the death there. That's unfortunate. Maybe a mesmerize.
Man, I can't decide how I want to compliment the game. There we go. All right, very good, very good. So Seward's alive. Dracula heals up to 10. Man, it really
That's good for Dracula.
is a bummer that he's not at 13, but I like 10 better than 8. Every bit you can get is good.
And you've had a heavily hosted guarded now, which is always a bonus. Well, in fact, 3 weapons. So that's, okay.
And you got rid of great strength early. You know, that's that can't be used in a, end of great time to get hired scouts. I wonder where Dracula went.
Yeah, go fish.
Come on. Come on, Snuffy, stop checking your phone.
Oh, I think that's them putting comments into the PirateJoe will be trolling Backstab.
Yeah. Sorry, that may have been unnecessary. We're just going to let this go.
That's okay.
It looks like he found Sarajevo, but not Belgrade. It had to have been Belgrade.
Part of why I made Seward go Leroy. Okay.
You just have all the cards, don't you?
Yeah. That's a good move, go to Athens. Well, I would have gone, I think, you can't go there now, and Drax. But that's fine, it makes Drax's decision up to go Adriatic, which is probably the better ocean. Bear in mind, he's still got Wolfform sitting there. There is still a trail, there's still 3 cards here on a trail, and layers been made, so... Yeah, based on what, Mina's walked in now as well, so I'd be tempted as Drac to go to sea this turn. You've got that additional health. Wolfform, perhaps, just to avoid the risk of CG into Italy. Yeah.
He might also be tempted to just attack Seward. That'd be a little bit bold, but if you can kill him,
well,
they're not going to get you in Athens.
Mina can fast horse down there.
Oh, I'm sorry, you're right. She can.
The problem is, if Drac does jump on, if he jumps on Seward, he'd have to get a couple of fangs anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then so.
So Adriatic probably makes more sense than we'll see.
Yeah, I don't. Because he spaced Van Helsing back, so even a Wolfform North doesn't make any sense for Dracula because he's going to be right in the middle of the Hunter Triangle with Godalming, Mina, and Van Helsing there. So yeah, it's either. Sophia will come off. So his option is either go back to Sophia unless he layer. He could layer it and go back and double it, but I think at this sense
that'd be pretty dangerous.
Yeah. And okay, funnily enough, I guess the good thing about this is he hasn't used his feed. So it's not like he's used feed now and now he goes to C and takes 2 damage. He can go to C, take 2 damage and then rule form and then get the 3 health back by landing and feeding. So, whereas if he had fed, he'd have to wait for the whole trail before he gets it back. So that, yeah, the fags on Seward were useful. 2 would have been great because it would have killed Seward as well. But yeah, I think Adriatic's the best. It's such a shame when you see players that aren't really, maybe not as fully, au fait with the rules and things. He obviously thought he could hide and place something else down in Valona. It's a damn shame because a feed could have been. I mean, a feed and then a fang. That would be now sitting almost on full health again, which is a different. It's a different story. Then you might think, maybe I do jump on Seward and try and take him out.
Yeah, I agree, and I definitely have made that high mistake before at some point. I can't remember when. This, as the viewers may know, just before this Immortal Invitational tournament, this team tournament, there was the New Blood tournament, and I was quite literally the newest of New Blood in that tournament. And man, if it wasn't a whirlwind of learning things about the game the hard way. Um, and part of the benefit of these tournaments, right? It's all in good fun, and as you play, it makes you play more and more, so you learn little details of the game that you might not have realized before.
Mm-hmm.
So, as annoying as it must have been for Backstab to do that hide, he's never going to forget it again.
No, very true. Yeah, as long as you learn from your mistakes, that's one way to get through that. And you're right, it's one of those games. I mean, there's still games. Scotsword said that yesterday in the Pizzawizard Spencer. There's still things that people can do in this game that you've never seen before or takes you by surprise. It's such a way that, yes, there can be a set format to playing it, but it all comes down to how the hunters play it or how the player, regardless what faction they are.
Wow, he went to
anyway,
Athens.
Shut up, Ross. He's going to Athens. He's going for the kill. Okay.
This guy's got some guts.
Indeed.
This is.
Although, yep. Okay, here we go. Take him out.
Dawn fight. This is not so much a backstab, but he's trying to stab in the front. Marching boldly into Athens. Fangs sharpened.
Let's hope he gets good hand. Block him on the first. Don't let him escape. Okay, yep, that's fine.
And you get a dodge. Okay. That's great.
Trouble is now, an escape with a weapon won't kill Seward again, although you will get a chance. No, Knight he won't as well. So, yeah, you need to try and block and escape again. Plotting would have been great there actually as well, because you would have killed him with a plotting, because you would have blocked his escape. That's 2 damage, and then you've got weapons to kill him again. So you can work around it. You should be able to work around this. So what's he got?
Got a claw.
Okay. Be an escape.
Okay, so now Seward's gonna be down to 1. Now what's gonna happen? Enter Mina.
This is it. This is it. I mean, Dracula's on 10, so it's not as if he's particularly weak.
Although I guess Seward can just walk away since it is the hunter's turn.
Yeah, that would be his. Yeah, that. And if he has got his fast horses still, we'll see. We'll soon find out. He wants to try and probably get up to Sophia, but then Sophia's been layered, so.
All right, Godalming goes to Bucharest. Trigger that. Hope it makes sense, because if that were another mob or worse, like a wolf, that could be bad for Seward. And it's a new vamp.
Okay, ambushed as well. That's good. That's good.
Opportunity for Backstab to get some points on the board.
No delays, no stake.
And we got 2 cards coming up.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Nice.
Strong start for Dracula. With strength and a knife.
Lovely, lovely. these new vampires really can be tenacious to take down, especially if they're doubled up. Although you don't have the risk of getting points from the fangs like the Reckless, 6 health is a hell of a health.
Yes, absolutely. Let's see. We're plotting.
Okay. Hoping he's going to go for
Ooh,
the... Oh,
okay.
okay, yeah.
Good punch. But that may be a sign here that Godalming does not have a stake.
Yes.
Because if you had a stake,
Yeah.
you'd escape.
Good point. Yeah, that's right. And to play knife first round. Yeah, you're right. He probably... Yeah, he's definitely
And
got a
another
stake.
knife stopped.
Nice.
But that's the thing, if Godalming is trying to kill this vampire, there's a risk that he could take a bunch of damage and then not kill the vampire.
Yeah.
So there's a
That's
little
it.
bit
And
of a
then
risk
face...
to
Then
the...
well, that's it. You take the health... You know, if you get down to 5 health, then you've got to fight it at night, and you're fighting with 5 health. There's a difference. Now, that's good. Yep,
Okay.
that's fine, because he's worked out he's got the one knife that he was using between punch. That's fine. Get your health back up. Kind of, yep, break even again with the 5. That's fine. Round 5. Bring his bring his... He may have a heavily host, but obviously you wouldn't waste it on a new vampire at the moment because it wouldn't kill her anyway. So you don't have to worry about that. Other strength would be nice. He's mesmerized, so the damage is going to take 1 less damage than it would normally. Oh,
And
okay,
it's moot.
yep.
The vampire escapes.
Lovely.
So now Godalming can choose to fight it at night with Godalming. He could, I assume, if Mina has a stake, she'll try to come over and stake it. But
Which would benefit Dracula, because that then means you won't have Mina jumping on him. So yeah, Hunters have got a decision to make now. Do they... It looks like obviously Godalming doesn't have a stake. He's now going to have to... He has to fight that, or do you let it mature for 3 points, which is... Nah. And just let the trail mature. And then you can just focus on, you know, Dracula, although it looks like... I mean, even as Drac now, you'd be tempted to still probably to feed. But, I don't know. As you said, you're quite right. You don't want Godalming taking a hell of a lot of damage trying to kill this at night, or potentially dying, just for 3 points. If there's a rumour token, it's different. But we'll see here what Mina does, if she does go and jump in. If she jumps in with Godalming, I don't know, is that overkill for a new vampire? What do you think? Do you think Godalming would have been able to do that himself? What would you do?
I don't think that Godalming could kill that vampire by himself.
Right.
I imagine the two of them together could kill the vampire pretty easily. I think that's probably what I would do. I would probably have them team up and give it a shot that way. Especially because if the vamp ambushes, which maybe she would, maybe she won't, right? Then you're fighting it during the day, which is better.
Yeah.
You'll knock it out. Drax can go to sea. You'll have some time to catch up. Although you are moving the opposite direction of Dracula in doing this, so there's a little bit of a cost to that. Alright, here we go. Nope.
Oh no, going for the kill, yep.
Going
This
for
is
the
Pirate
kill.
Hunter, as I say, is an aggressive hunter, so yep. But this is difficult, yeah. If Mina's got a heavenly host, this
But
could...
it's a one-on-one night fight.
It is, yes.
3 item cards. Yep. We know... Oh, nice.
1 gone. Okay, and we know she's got
gone.
fast horse stake. So she's only got 1 weapon left, yeah. Maybe it's not a stake, that's why she didn't jump on Godalming, so you have to expect a heavenly host or a conventional. So again, that could work around this.
So Mina has 1 weapon. This is tricky.
I think if I had a strength, I would play that again. Even if she plays heavenly host, because then you've got... You can work around it. Alright, okay. Claws.
Oh.
Oh, nice. Okay.
She's had a change of heart. She's nothing without a rifle. Maybe she had maybe she had bullets. And she just wanted to get a quick shot off.
Oh, yeah.
Make it harder for Dracula as he sails with low health.
Good point.
Maybe she's hoping to get a holy bullet off and then run away. But without her gun, you can't fire bullets out of a gun. You can't throw a bullet at Dracula.
This is it.
So now We have
So we're letting this mature. Okay.
letting it mature.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Again, it's only 3 points. Even with a rumour, you'd be thinking, well, the problem is now, depending what's in the location after Bucharest, what does he want to do? Because if you've got a aristocratic or reckless or something, or you're a hoax or something, the problem is now you do this, you clear the trail completely, which then means if Dracula goes to sea, which chances are he's going to, all the hunters are going to do now is just reheal, resupply, and by the time Dracula lands, it's like the last week damage never happened to them. And that's why Seward, yeah, I can see why you want to try and take him out. You felt better if you'd managed to kill one of the hunters.
Yes, I agree. They need to land the points. They lose their items, their tickets. Dead hunters
Yeah,
are more painful now post beta since they also lose their rail tickets, which can be a bear to um, redraw and get your horse economy back to where it was.
agreed, absolutely. And I think that's the way I always thought it should have been. Oh, he is?
It's matured. All right, so
Oh
the
yeah,
trail
matured,
is cleared.
matured, yeah.
There is nothing for the hunters to deal with. Dracula needs to leave or feed and try to kill Mina. Um,
Mm,
so,
I think as well, so I'm
or
trying to think of Super
uh,
Stewart went to Athens. I can't remember if he supplied there or not. If he hasn't, he's only been in small towns, so he's not, benefited his hand any. It's not like he's retrieved a new weapon. There's the other option. You go to sea as Ionian. The hunters then all assume, right, start heading more Central Europe. You do Second Ocean, but you actually go to the Black Sea and hope that they then just filter out of where you are. You're close to home. You've got some layers sitting about. You can remove them. It's a difficult one, but the good thing is you go to sea first, and then you would see what the hunters' movement is. So if they all start moving out, the option is Black Sea or perhaps even Adriatic, and look to jump back in Valona. So, because I think if you're Drac and you come out Ionian, then you go Turanian. Well, Van Helsing can be in Genoa or Marseille in a couple of days anyway. Then you're back to where you were. So it's a bit difficult. Did Godalming fast horse to Bucharest, Snuffy? Did you see, or did he just walk? Because if he hasn't got fast
no,
horses,
he did
it's
horse.
me. He did, right. So Van Helsing's without the horses. Assume if Seward's.
He
Oh.
feeds in Athens.
Oh.
Now we get to
I
feed
like
and attempt to
Backstab.
kill the hunter.
I like Backstab. Okay.
Now,
And that's good, because Mina never got a chance to heal after the battle. She's at 4. Wow. Okay. A dawn fight. So again, yeah, she has weapons. You know what she's got. She's played it. Rifle's gone.
you're hoping that that it was indeed bullets along with the horse.
Oh, yeah, yep.
That would be great for
One,
Dracula.
get one hunter kill. Play this right. Yep, that's fine. Okay, she'll probably right. Okay.
That's pretty good.
Okay. Yeah, you can't risk playing a plotting because escapes on a plotting as well. So that's what you want to do. Mesmerize seems to be almost one of the default cards that does come up for Drac in opening hands. So the question now is, are they going to try and punch to block another Mesmerize, or are they going to escape, force a Mesmerize? In which case, you know that they can get out of it in day 2, the day 3. Dracula's going better now than he was though. 13 health looks a hell of a lot better from 8.
And now it's 15.
Full health. 2
Back
on
in
Mina.
business.
Yeah, right. Fuck it, Dracula. Go to sea. Spend as long as you want, mate. There's no Rufus.
So Dracula went from full 15 health, got crucifixed and heavenly hosted down to 8, and now he's right back where he started. He's in Athens. The hunters can 2-on-1 him if they want, but would they really want to? I don't know. I don't know if I would
Yeah.
dare with a Seward and a Mina that week and that unarmed to try to 2v1 him. It would be fruitless, really. So
Oh god,
Seward
yeah.
just
Yeah,
rests.
that's what he's doing. Yeah, he's forcing Dracula to sea, which makes sense because Dracula he could have ruled form, so forced Drac to sea. Problem is, I mean, they're both out of position now. They're all down at that bottom area. You do need to heal. I would imagine the next you want to put Mina in with Suid. Oh, that's why. You'll put Mina in with Suid, and they can all double heal each turn. So you're going to get all the hunters back up to full health. Yep, that makes sense. Dracula goes to sea, and
So it's almost like
start.
status quo antebellum, right? I
Isn't
mean,
it? Yeah, yeah.
you lost a lot of your good weapons. Dracula's back to full health. He got some points, but not a ton. And it's almost like once Dracula lands, we're going to start the game all over again from the beginning
Yes.
in certain
Yeah,
aspects.
you're absolutely right. Absolutely right. I'm glad he's got some points on the board for Dracula. He got his 3, which is fine. 3's better than nothing, obviously. But the way the week started, he's recovered well. That
Burned to
shows
great
resilience.
strength, burned to host.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Yes. Yeah.
You would have loved to have killed a hunter as Drac, but I mean,
Yeah.
there's still a lot that went well for him by the end of that. He came back from a very, very tough initial fight with Seward. Yeah.
Mhm.
So great job on
Yeah.
Backstab, really rebounding well.
Yeah. Yeah. That's that's crazy. It's funny if somebody jumped into the game now to spectate, you'd be thinking, Jesus, Dracula's doing well. Full health, 3. You know, they've just missed the last week of him getting his ass kicked all over Baltica.
Yeah.
The result doesn't reveal the game. Yeah, that makes sense. No Rufus. In fact, the hunters have had. Well, look at the event deck as well, Snuffy. There's 48. I mean, he has forced the hunters to just move more than supply, which is what you want. So he's forced them to move around. They've had to clear trails and they've lost items. They haven't resupplied. They're still in a small city. I mean, they're not going to be able to resupply their items until they get into a big city, which is either Bucharest or Munich, or 58 or 11,
Yeah.
arguably. But they're all out
And
of position. You know,
and if I were them, honestly, I wouldn't even do that. I would just wait another turn and go all the way to Munich, probably. At least for two of them. Maybe
yeah.
keep one there to hold down the fort and prevent a return via Black Sea or Adriatic, as you said. At least until you know for sure that Dracula has gone west. But I would be tempted to just once the others are healed, send at least two of them up to Munich, and
Hmm.
resupply there. So at least you're going in the right direction, going towards Dracula rather than away from him.
You can send the third hunter down to Athens. That's a big city, so you can resupply there. They've all got fast horses, so their movement's fine. So, you'd be tempted to put maybe Godalming to Athens because he double supplies and move Mina. You want to get her with somebody just in case she's got hypnosis sitting there, or she draws hypnosis. You want to keep her with another hunter as well. So, yeah, as you're right, it's status quo here. It's Dracula's moving. They have to recollect. He's recollecting, and we'll see what happens. The thing is now, Van Helsing's been sitting in the background from an ivory tower, just supplying away. He's not moved. So God knows what he's sitting with. Well, there's a renewed vigor.
That's
Renewed vigor now?
I don't know why you would do that, Pirate Joe.
Would you play that now?
I guess to make
I guess,
healing faster? I don't know.
or maybe you fast horse up to Bucharest, and then your second you supply through the day. Yeah, it's a strange one. I mean, you know where Drac is, but there's nothing you can do about it. He must be just trying to. He's not even going to a big city. Right, okay.
Okay, get them all to
Well,
Munich quicker, I guess.
yeah. Well, this helps Dracula because, like I said before, yep, Athens. That makes sense. You did layer it though, but you didn't think about
No,
that.
it's not a lair yet.
Oh, no, he's not done it yet. Oh, Aggie.
Okay, well that's
Damn
going to
it.
be an ally.
Ah, she's great ally, bad enemy. Now, if Mina moves out, that'll be interesting because if Mina moves out, I don't know. I may be tempted to go to Black Sea.
Yeah, that's interesting because you're exactly right. Dracula right now is in Ionian. He's going to have a very big decision to make this next turn.
Yeah. Right. That's made my decision, and I'm going to go Iranian.
I agree with that. You're going to have two hunters that are
Great.
quite far away. Although they
Yeah.
may have excellent weather or something, but I mean, they haven't supplied very much, so what are the odds?
Yeah, a rare use of renewed vigor. I don't know what. I mean, okay, he's got everyone where he could have got them to, but and again, I guess Godalming couldn't have got to Van Helsing without renewed vigor because of the fast horse roll plus the one. That's fine. But then he just moved the other two one space and then supplied. Heal at night anyway. Yeah, interesting. Yeah, Drax now. Yeah, I think Durrania is a good one now. Mina's so out of unless she's got hypnosis, but again, like we said, you can't play to assuming what the hunter's strategy is. Your options are then to either land in mainland Italy, or even do a kind of wolf form to Baltica, hope they move out and jump back over, or probably the problem is Hyde is still on the trail, so even doing a Cagliari and a Hyde is out of the question just now. He's really got
Yeah,
to start getting a trail built up again because without a trail, I mean, there's no trail now for 4 days, so the hunters can just take their time. All they've got to do is find him, which means they can just sit where they are, locate. All they do is all you got to do is you hope that they draw a hard scout while he's at sea. But this is, yeah, you really want to try and get some trail back down again and make it difficult for them.
yeah, I'd be tempted to either go CAG or even just dispense with the pretense and just go to Mediterranean and start putting some stuff down in Spain away from them.
I think I agree with you there, mate. I think Spain's the best move because Cagliari, he lands there fine, feed's still on the trail, can't hide in Cagliari, so he's only going to land there for one trail and then go to sea and take 2 damage again without feed anywhere near. Whereas at the moment, if he goes to he's going to take 1 less damage going 3 oceans, as crazy as that sounds, than if he was to stop in the Cagliari and then jump in again. So, um, yeah, he's gone one with the other. That's fine.
And I
But
will say, if you do Mediterranean and then you wolf form out of it, your first space is going to cause some confusion for the hunters,
mhm,
which you're not going
yep,
to get. You're not going to have all that much confusion if you do something else. I mean,
yeah,
especially in this position, right? Because let's say you're going to obfuscate by maybe going to Baltica. I'm sorry, which I hate to say, the Balkans. That's a pet peeve of mine. It's not the Baltics, but like a
yep,
single psychic scan is going to reveal that instantly. So it's
yes.
not even going to create as much obfuscation as it would be had PirateJoe done something different. I mean,
Yeah, as soon as Mina went with Seward, that ruled out Baltica for me because yeah, they can just sit there and if you land, do a psychic bond and find you even without hypnosis. Money trail, all right, well that'll tell us. That'll tell us something. Just
yeah.
hope he hasn't gone to the Adriatic because that could be problematic, especially if there's a CG in the hand.
Nope,
Dracula
Turanian.
reveal, Turanian. Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, I don't know if I like that. I think I might have waited one more turn to use that. Although I suppose that takes up a whole action, right? To use Money Trail.
Yeah, and to be
All
fair,
right.
I get what you're saying. Yeah, I think when you go from the Ionian, using it on the second sea is actually probably prime for that because you can only be in the Black Sea, the Adriatic, or the Turanian. He can't go any further. But whereas if it's the UK, you wouldn't want to use it until the third ocean because he could be anywhere. But that one, when I know Ionian leave, yeah, that makes sense because now you can just follow it. Because now he can't go back. If he goes 2 seas, he's in south, and you can follow it now. And I think for there, it lets the hunters again recollect that they're not saying, right, well, has he gone to Baltica? Has he gone to the Adriatic? That's fine. I
No.
agree with you. There are occasions where I would only use Money Trail once Drax landed. If he's gone 3 oceans, but there you could pretty much surmise where he went.
You
And if
horses.
you didn't, guess what?
Yep. No, I guess I was thinking that there's a possibility that Drac continues on the Mediterranean, then you didn't need to use Money Trail because you would know it anyway. But honestly, since Money Trail takes a whole turn to use, I like this move on Pirate Joe's part. Use it, figure out what direction Dracula's going, and that way you can start moving quicker than you could be if you had to wait a whole nother day and waste a day action when you could be moving. I like
Yeah.
that. That makes sense.
And Drax taking 3 damage, so yeah, you may as well. Yeah, you may as well. Again, it's about when do you pull the trigger on these things. But yeah, that's told them what they need to know. Um, Yeah, he really wants to trail down. I mean, there is no. That's just a bit of a pain. Where are we now? Sunday coming into the third week. Okay. 3 points. Still 3 points, which is fine. He's made a dent. That's good.
Yeah, for all the
Um,
combat we saw, we're still only at 3 points. There is a whole lot of sound and fury signifying not nothing, but not that much either. Now, what will Dracula do here? Continue on the Mediterranean? Go to Cag? Go to Italy? Well, go to mainland Italy?
mm.
The suspense.
Smell it off you.
All right,
Yep.
Mediterranean it is. Very good.
Yep. That makes sense. Imagine Godalming's going to hoof it, excuse the pun, down to Marseille. Helsing may do the same, and then, as you said, doing the wolf form from the Med gives Dracula so many destinations. And that's only if you want to use the wolf form to its full capacity. There's always something to be said as well that you pretend to fake wolf form 2 cities and go 1.
Yeah, I like
Then
that
that
play
frees you
too.
up to do elsewhere. So yeah, you're effectively getting full access. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's almost 10 cities you could land in from ocean from the Med. Yep, Godalming's going to go and block Marseille, which makes sense.
And then the interesting thing will be, does Backstab um, go into Spain? Does he try to leapfrog over the
Mm,
hunters and try to give them the slip by
yeah,
going north or into Italy?
yeah, yep.
They're a little bit more dangerous, but could also obfuscate a bit more. Oh, nope, he's not going to Marseille now.
No, well, that's fucking ruined things.
Yeah,
That's the plan gone. So Van
okay.
Helsing is right. Okay, so yeah, I think Spain. I think you take the safe route here. Go to Spain because you just got to get trails down now. Godalming's taking a slow turn, trying to fast horse. Okay, yes, you could have Toulouse, Clermont-Ferrand, Zurich, Geneva, or Genoa, but any of them could be reached by Godalming. If there's a speedy telegraph, yeah. Don't don't throw yourself into situations you don't need to be in. Go to Spain. I mean, you don't even have to wolf form at the risk of CG, but you probably would. Just start
Yeah,
getting trails down. Tide's going to come off, so you can do a trail. You can hide. Get 2 or 3 cities down there first before you have to come out of there. Or do you
maybe
not wolf form? Do you land? I'd keep your wolf form because you're going to need that to escape from Spain when the hunters come in.
he's
Or
gonna get
the other
hide
option is you go
back.
back to sea.
You could
Yeah.
hide in Barcelona, hope the hunters pass you, and then go north. Or
Hmm.
you could wolf to Madrid. When the hunters get to Madrid, they're not going to know what direction you went in, and maybe you could try to go north from Madrid, go up the western coast of,
Hmm.
uh,
Hmm.
go up to Santander, and then the western coast of France. That would give you some more escape routes. Not the card, but the concept.
Yep. Yeah.
So it's interesting. There's a lot
I
of
think as well, though,
options. Oh, go
I
ahead.
think Van Helsing, because we know Van Helsing doesn't have fast movement, typically he's going to use the rail. So that then rules Dracula then going up, as you said there, you'd have to hit Bordeaux, which is on the main rail line in France. So if I was Van Helsing, I'd be going to Bordeaux just to block it off. Then, I mean, look at Spain. The rail access in Spain is pretty significant. Um, you don't want to be sitting in Granada at number 26 because if CG's done, as you mentioned, that's your kind of CG hotel there again. So yeah, it's a difficult one.
Well,
It is a difficult one.
Granada is a CG nuke zone, not a CG hotel, but I take your
Oh,
point.
Zook.
Yep.
Yeah, sorry, my terminology. Yeah, yeah, I think we need to just get in there,
Oop.
get some stuff laid down. We'll go to South Atlantic. Oh, he's in the Med now, so I beg your
And
pardon. I was getting confused by the trail that I always keep saying I love, but I got confused by how it worked. Wait a minute, he's moved again. Oh no, yeah, that's right. The trail ends now.
the trail slides it down. He gets his hide back, which at this point may come in
Yes,
handy,
yeah,
especially if he throws down a vampire or something and then covers it with fog.
yeah, yeah. Now, interestingly, the hunter item deck has reset, so that's the issue now. Is stakes are going to be coming back into circulation, so double vamp. I always do like a double vamp and a layer, but that's may not be as effective now if the hunters are tooling up on the. The good thing is Seward and Mina are at sea, so they can do nothing until they. It looks like they're going to go to sea until they get to Spain. So they're not going to be supplying for a couple of days, but they have been doing so in Athens. Or do you just rule form into 60? Fuck it, and just hope they go past you.
60, yeah. I mean, they're going to have a lot of different things to check, right? I mean, once you land, if they are going to 60 and checking 60, then they're not going with your plan to block off 8 and 36 and
Mm,
54, right? There's going to be multiple things these hunters are going to want to do, and they're not going to be able to do all of them.
yeah.
So you, it's tricky, right? There, I would say something like 60, which is Zurich, is what I would probably call high risk, high reward, because
Yes.
you
Yeah.
could get 2v1s for absolutely no reason whatsoever, in an entirely preventable fashion. But you could have the hunters start going towards Spain, and then you have plenty of time to move around in Central Europe, start a trail, be very hard to get to, and be in a great spot.
Mm-hmm.
You could do something similar if you went to Genoa, although with that, it's very possible that the hunters in the Ionian land in Genoa. Um,
Yeah, in Genoa you're restricted because Terranian's still on the
yeah.
trail.
Same with
So you're
oh sorry, I was just gonna say
on
same
you go.
with Geneva, right? All of those spaces, to a lesser extent Clermont-Ferrand too, all those spaces kind of have the same risk-reward profile to varying degrees.
Yeah, yep. The fact is, yes, it is quite difficult. I can see why Dracula's thinking, and quite rightly so. But yeah, I mean,
It's a huge decision.
it is. I
Yeah.
think as well the way it works, and almost the aesthetics of the game. I think Hunter's now looking at it. If you're not clued up and focused on what it's doing, I think your eye is tempted to go to Spain because it's such a lot. You're thinking, right, surely Dracula's going to go to Spain. Why wouldn't he? And it's almost is going to wolf. That's fine. Is he or is he? Yes, he is. Right. Okay, that's first step has been done. The gauntlet's down. It depends if if Godalming moves away and not onto Zurich. Drax made the right move if he went there. But as you say, it is high risk. I've done it a couple of times. I think one was successful. One was I got my ass handed to me on a plate. But you're hoping that they assume, would he do this? Surely he wouldn't. And that's what you want to try and get them to think that maybe you would. And if they don't, then they just run past you. But
That's
all right.
interesting. Speedy telegraph.
Okay. Uh,
It's kind of an
see,
odd time to use it, though. I get it. Well, because
does Van Helsing check
I
Zurich?
mean, it's only
And if
two.
okay.
For two hunters, it doesn't
Uh,
matter at all, right? The hunters in Ionia are not going to be affected by this.
yeah, that's true.
I mean, unless
He's
you
fast
find
horse.
him in Zurich, right? And then I guess the hunters in Ionia could go to Adriatic. Okay. Interesting.
Now
That that
that
so
worked. If he's gone there, I thought he was going to send Van Helsing to check Zurich. Then again, he would have had to check Genoa. But you're right, because the hunters are coming in from Genoa. He wouldn't have gone there. He would have blocked himself in. If Van Helsing had checked Zurich first and he was found, then Godalming can jump on it, and he's got the movement. Um,
so what I like about this, I don't think I would have used the speedy telegraph in this case, but what I do like about this is that Godal or Helsing, who doesn't have a horse, can now use a rail and check Zurich, can then walk to Geneva, check all those eastern
mhm,
cities,
mhm,
while Godalming, who has the horse, can jump around Spain and make laying trail down a lot more difficult. So
mhm.
I
Yeah.
like the idea of having Helsing check the eastern options and Godalming check the western ones.
Ah, yep. Now you got. Yeah, so even if you had gone to Zurich, the good thing is you can next movement you could get up to Nuremberg. So even if Mina and Seward land in Genoa and do a psychic bond on Italy, it'll reveal that he's not there, which is ideal. But it doesn't mean to say that he's not just one city above that. If it says he's not in Italy, then you're still thinking, is he in Spain? So you're going to hope Godalming needs to check some of these locations quickly to rule out where he's gone. So, and again, if he has done the fake one move, typically, Godalming's going to check Zaragoza, Madrid, Granada, and not think that he's actually going to be at Alicante or Barcelona or wherever it might be. So, or again, yeah, you're right. He's gone the Med, but he's gone up into Spain. Could be in France. He could. Yeah, he just needs to make sure the next move now. I mean, if he was in 24, say he went to, like you said, Geneva there, I'd be tempted to go up to Paris now after this one, and just try and distance myself from the hunters. If Godalming goes south, that's what you want to see, and try and get him up to the sort of north coast and mill about there. You'll get feedback in a minute too, so that'll take him back up to 13. Start laying a trail. By the time the hunters get there, maybe have 2 or 3 down.
Yeah, I
And
like
then
that.
that's Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So, yeah.
And I mean, the hunters, if I were the hunters, I would be trying to find the landing spot before I tried to find any subsequent spots, right? Because the
Yeah.
universe of Dracula's second move is so much larger than the universe of the City of Wolf Form 2. So, if I were Dracula, I would definitely want to avoid, going from, say, Clermont-Ferrand to Geneva or something. I'd want to go to a
Yeah.
city that I couldn't have been before. Well, I will say, Dracula's going to be really hoping he doesn't get found here because he would love to feed again, especially if especially if he is in Spain. He's going to have to sail again. You're going to
Mm-hmm.
want those health points back. So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Even if Dracula went towards Central Europe, he'd be sorely tempted to feed here, I would think.
Depends.
So,
Yeah. We've landed now. It depends on what Mina and Sue do. If they land in Italy, okay, right, that's good. So, okay, yep. Yeah. Let's hope if he did go 60, let's hope he's moved out of Italy. Mina's going to join, do a psychic bond, or maybe hypnosis. She may have. She may have picked that up.
Hypnosis here would be
If,
much more valuable than a psychic bond because it seems pretty unlikely
mm-hmm.
that Dracula would be in Italy at this
Yeah.
moment.
Yeah. And not being in Madrid's interesting. So,
So if he is in Spain, he would have had to have done something tricky like going into Saragossa hoping that the hunters jumped over him, or hugging the
mm,
south coast, which is trying to create maximum distance.
yeah.
Both those options, if you were taking a Spain strategy, would be viable options, I think.
Mm-hmm. The good thing is he didn't do the rule form from Barca into Toulouse because Godalming came from there, so that's ruled out going there. So I mean, you're right. He could have sat in a port. He could have sat in Barca or Alicante and hid now, beg your pardon, and put down a fog and something else and hope Godalming comes in. That's in as long as they've got forewarned. That's him delayed. Um,
And one for
and
one's
then it
been
gives you the
used.
chance to one. Yep. And then it allows Drac to then.
It's
Okay. Yep.
normal
That's
psychic
well.
bond. That doesn't tell them very much.
No.
Even if they go into
No.
France next and scan there, I mean, Drac could have been in France this turn and in Germany or something the next.
Yeah.
It's tough.
Absolutely. That's good. That's good for Drac. Yeah, he's ridden the wave again. Excuse all these puns. He's ridden the wave again, and he's managed to. He's got a bit of stability now. The hunters are all okay. They've got fast movement, but they're all far enough away that you probably want to get maybe one more trail put down at least before they come in, and then you can decide what you want to do. But yeah, I think yeah.
So, right,
Do
my
you feed
instinct was to
now?
feed first, but at the same time, if they're going to do this strategy of landing, going to a region, scanning, that is a
Hmm.
kind of a slow process, right? Even
Yeah,
if they do that right, and even if you are in France, they're not going to realize it until you know nighttime when they scan.
yeah.
So, and then they're not going to have any idea where in France you are. I don't know. It hmm. Dracula's got options here.
Yes.
This is a slow search process for the hunters.
I would be proud of Drac if he's done the Zurich into Nuremberg or even into Germany. I mean, he could go into Munich and start heading back east himself. So he's got layers there. He's got the comfort of layers, and we've seen in games where they work effectively. The hunters have done right. We've searched Italy. He's not there. We checked, France next. We've seen that he's not in Toulouse, so it's like, okay, maybe he's not in Spain. He must be in France. So if they go west and he goes east, Harlem shuffle it, get out of the way, and all of a sudden it's looking
Yeah.
much nicer for Dracula. And he's going back to a full country, a full region of layers. Castle's there. He's come up to Thursday.
Nope, he's in Spain.
As it is. He's in Spain, so ignore that, what I've said. If you could just edit that out, Snuff, that'd be great. And,
And
well, what I think
bodyguard,
is he's gone to Spain.
alright. Yep, just like you always knew.
That's just like I said in every game.
He was going to try to create maximum distance, especially with these hunters waiting in the back in Italy. Okay. Sense of emergency.
Yeah,
Seward's going to try to get to Spain as quickly as possible and get that double team.
yep. So that'll be, yeah, he will. He'll get to Saragossa now. So he can hit Cadiz tomorrow.
I'm going to say this. I
So
bet
yeah, it
at this
looks like,
point, I'm sorry to talk over you. I was going to say, I bet at this
no,
point,
no,
the hunters are probably regretting using that early renewed vigor. This should be a great time for hunters to have renewed vigor. Or maybe the next turn, right? They'll get a little bit
right.
closer. Drac will be on the edge. Do I leave? Do I not? Maybe think about staying, and then a renewed vigor could help you double or triple team them.
Yeah. Yeah, that was strange. Yeah, I forgot that. Yeah, that was not the most optimal way of doing it. But then again, I guess where he was, the hunters were crippled. They were itemless. I guess sometimes you use it for different reasons, and I guess to do that, it meant that you could get Godalming up with Van Helsing. They've obviously done some trading. He managed. So yeah, it's all 6.5, I guess. But yeah, normally you want to keep. If you had one now, you could use renewed vigor in your sense of emergency. Is that you falling asleep with your phone again? Oh, there we go.
Yeah, it might have been just me talking to Hubs. I don't know. All right, let's see.
So he's going to take 2 damage, which again is irrelevant because he'll just heal it up tonight. He'll block Saragossa. And now, there may well, I mean, if Mina moves in as well, there may well be another renewed figure, like you say, sitting there that he pulls the trigger tomorrow. It could be a 3-on-1. Yeah, here we go. Yeah. So that could be, yeah, they could all get there. Dracula now, well, bear in mind that was Cadiz, so he's in, you'd imagine Lisbon. Well, I hope he's in Lisbon. If he's in Madrid, he's going to be in a lot of
He
trouble.
can't be in Madrid because he would have had to move the when Godalming was on it.
Oh, Godalming check, that's right, yeah.
So it has to
So
be Lisbon
he's
right
called
now.
Granada, Cadiz, and he's in Lisbon now, yeah.
Yeah, there's no other choice here. So he's going to want to
The
feed, but
problem is,
it's not a safe place to feed.
no, that's the thing, yeah, you can't feed now. And the trouble is he's going to leave Spain, go back to the sea, and only left 3 events. Well, 2 now.
Unless he
So
is
again, it's
on
not.
a fog. If he's on a fog, he might feel comfortable feeding.
Yeah, well, yeah, yep. And of course, the new forewarned doesn't trigger every hunter, so you just got to pick and choose which one you think has got it. You can still manage to block them in fog. Lisbon does give him the option of Santander. Oh, he's going to see. Right, okay, so.
Yep, that's fair.
Yeah,
So,
I think, yeah, we're getting near end game as well now. So he's got to start thinking about. And again, the oceans are coming off. The trouble is now he was probably one city too early coming off to sea, because had he waited tomorrow and then gone to sea, Terranium would have the Med would have opened up again, and then money trails being used. You could have then gone either ocean by 3, say, and the hunters have got no idea whether you've gone north or whether you've gone east. He's had to jump. Situation
yeah.
forced him to jump. That's fine.
Yep, so that's not ideal. When we look on the bright side, you Seward burned a sense of emergency that could have been useful later wherever you land next. So,
Hmm.
But at this
Yeah,
point, I
he's
mean,
leaving.
either player could win this.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, that's what I love about it. And we were saying that. I think it was. Well, again, I think the first thing you have, but I'd like testament to you. I was watching your game with Spencer, and that looked like in the first week it was going to be a very short game, and you pulled that back, and it was almost a victory for yourself. Spoiler if nobody's seen it yet, but what are you doing? You should be watching the tournament. That was a great comeback for you, and the same here. If we go back to the first week when Dracula was found, Constanta was done, Dracula got a kicking in Valona, you'd be thinking, oh, hang on, he could be in trouble here. And now here we are, Friday of the final week, and it's all swinging out. It's the hunters now that are having to sit and wait. There's no Rufus, so unfortunately, like I said, the only problem with that is he does. Med is still on the sea, on the trail, so he's going to go north. They've been supplying a lot, so I guess at this stage of the game, you'd have to assume they've got CG. Put Seward to sea. Okay.
Yeah, they've had plenty of time to supply after their initial fights
Oh,
in Greece.
yeah, that's the only concern. And Seward and Mina were in Athens, so they've been selecting items. Yep, Seward's going to go and block the UK.
Yep,
He's
they
used
know
his
that's the
wolf
direction he's
again.
going.
Yeah, the problem is, yeah, that's it. He can only land once. Oh, no, hang on. Rada comes off in 2 days. So he could go 2 oceans, get wolf form back. It just means you'd have to land. When you'd have to wolf form when you land just to avoid CG. It's going to be Monday, so we'll start taking 3 by then. Okay. Yeah, it's still in the balance. It's still in the balance. I don't know. What do you think? As Hunters or Dracula at this stage of the game, which faction do you think are thinking like I've played a good game here, or I feel I've got the most out of the game so far? Do you think Dracula players thinking I'm lucky to get this far, or I've done well to get this far, or do you think the Hunters are thinking I should have killed Drac a wee while back? What would be your synopsis on that?
Well, I think that they both are going to feel pretty proud of their play, right?
Hmm.
Because they both had difficult situations that they're both coming back from, given how I guess I'm thinking topsy turvy how much the first week fluctuated. I think at this point I'd probably rather be the hunters because they know where generally Dracula's going, and they're
Yeah.
already getting ahead of him. And Dracula's only going to get weaker. They're not Hunters aren't going to lose any health by sailing. Dracula is. So
Mm.
I think I would much rather be the Hunters here, especially with only 3 influence. I mean, we're almost certainly going to get to the Fury phase here, but it doesn't matter all that much if all those Hunters who are right there know where he's going.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I think that's a fair assumption there. It'll be interesting to see if Godalming is looks like he's going to let Lisbon mature because he moved up to Santander from Cadiz.
Yeah, that does look
Maybe
like
he's
what he's going
thinking
to do.
maybe he's thinking it's probably going to be a fog and I don't have forewarned, so do you know what? I'll just leave it. But if that turns out to be a reckless, a 4 damage Dracula, all of a sudden, the final week is a lot less
It saves the
stressful for
day.
Dracula.
Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, but I get it. If he hasn't got the right to jump on it, you don't want Godalming going there and being delayed for 2 days and travel. Um, hmm, right. Okay. So I was. This is how much of a luddite I am. I was watching the screen. I saw Sue go to North Sea, and I thought, "All right, he's gone there." And I noticed you were moving it back and
Oh,
forward.
sorry. Yeah.
This is like Inception for me. I'm an old man, my stuffy. You can't do this stuff to me. I'll be checking my medication, thinking I've taken too much. I'm seeing things now.
Oh yeah, I went back too far. I'm trying to go forward. I might just let it go.
You're all right, mate. Yeah, yeah. I think it's one of those. You've either got yourself that lets the screen stall for a while, or you've got Scotsword, who's like a bee in a jar that the arrow goes round the screen when nothing's happening. You get an epileptic fit. This video needs to come with a seizure warning.
So
Yeah. So okay. So Spain is going to mature.
yeah,
I
I
mean,
have
what
to
he's
say
put
I
on it.
doubt that it would be a fog. Because if it were, I think that Dracula would have fed under the cover of the fog. But if it is, that could be quite helpful. Oh, Vampire Lair.
Ow.
That buys the hunters a whole
Ow.
nother day.
God damn it.
Man. At this stage of the
Yeah.
game, that's a big deal. That makes it much harder for Dracula.
Yep.
So now in this case, right, Dracula's going to be in kind of a pickle, right? There's heavy
Mm-hmm.
CG risk going to the UK, but there's hunters swarming northern Germany.
Yeah. And even if Lisbon was a vampire, it's too far off the trail to mature and burn some of the oceans. So he can't, he's gone too far now that he can't have come back. And again, it's no fault of his own. Sense of emergency is what forced his hand with this, because it got Seward to Saragossa. I think if Seward had got to Toulouse, just with fast horses, then I agree with you. I think a hide in Lisbon, and that then would have freed up the Med, and that would be a difficult scenario now for hunters, because like I said, Money Trail's been played, and then you leave South Atlantic and you go 2 oceans. You could either be in Turanian, you could be in the north, you could, all of a sudden it's a wide open game. So his hand's been forced by the movement of hunters, which is, again, to the hunters, that's why they landed, so they could move there. As even the way the hunters are set up, I'd be worried that CG's there. They're blocking where he can land, and they're just waiting for you. Will form is back, which is something, so he has to make sure that he uses that effectively. 3 for South Atlantic, so he's either in the North Sea, English Channel, or the Irish Sea.
So from a CG standpoint, Manchester is a CG nuke zone, which is to say that if Dracula wolfs there, a CG with all 3 heavenly hosts could block off Manchester itself and all 3 cities surrounding it, amounting to an insta-kill of Dracula. But if you walk into or wolf into Edinburgh from North Sea, and the hunters were to play a heavenly host token on Manchester, they could create what's called a CG hotel situation, where you as Dracula would have nowhere to move, but you also, it's not going to clear the trail, so you'd be stuck there for until you're able to use hide and feed and dark call. And that can also be done if Dracula went from North Atlantic to the Channel, and then if you were to land in Plymouth, and the hunters play a token in London, that would cause the same effect. Although at this point, Dracula's gone out of 5 health, so even if you were to do a CG and Dracula land in, say, Plymouth or Edinburgh, even one turn of not being able to move would kill him. Because when you have CG and CG causes you to have nowhere to move and no way to evade the situation by playing feed or whatever, you take 5 damage and the trail clears. And with Dracula at 5 health, 5 damage is deadly. Okay, so Dracula has wolf formed, either into somewhere in the UK, or into Cologne, or into Leipzig or Berlin. Now, Leipzig is not a CG nuke zone, but Berlin is. So, CG in pretty much anywhere. Okay, well, now he's not in Leipzig. Now, at this point, wherever he lands, CG is a big threat, even if he landed in Germany.
Yeah. I was
very tough position.
Crossed my mind there, and I mean, at this part of the game, you kind of think, right, it's everything or nothing. I considered there whether he would do a wolf form if he'd gone English Channel, so South Atlantic, North Atlantic, English Channel, and he'd done a fake wolf form to Le Havre, hoping the hunters would jump away, which they have.
There's the CG.
Because if he's in France now, they don't expect it.
They're not going to use their tokens there. But he is in Manchester.
Oh, exactly as you well explained. Here comes the nuke. Has he got them all? He must have. He's not played any. Oh, right. Okay. Well, there you go.
Okay.
Yep. So as you say, he's in the hotel.
Yep. So one of the things I'd always thought was that, well, with the CG hotel, that's when you have Dracula going from a sea into a land space and then gets blocked in. But in Manchester, you can force Dracula in this situation to walk into the CG hotel himself, to check himself in. He's going to have to walk from Manchester to Edinburgh, and that consecrated ground token is going to stay there.
Mm-hmm.
The illustrious CG hotel, 3 stars. Get it? 3 stars because there's a CG token and 2 HH tokens. Oh,
Very
what
good.
a funny man I am.
That's very good.
I'm going to see myself out after this one.
No, I think I was just a tough audience, mate. I got it. Yeah, you had a tough audience there. They weren't.
It's
I
not
tell you what,
actually a good joke. It's fine.
the vampire layers really put a spanner here, because even going, so I'm just looking at it there, he moves to Edinburgh. If he had 3 that he had before, he moves to Edinburgh, that's 6. He hides, that's 9. Then it's a case of, right, okay, then you can feed. You just kind of wait, and you hope maybe if a hunter comes to you, you get a hunter kill. Yeah, that's see, English Channel again is one of these oceans that typically is missed by hunters because they don't really, they're looking at the big ocean like North Sea, North Atlantic. The English Channel just, subtly runs between the two, and sometimes I remember I played. I can't remember now, and I think it was he put it on his YouTube channel, but I can't remember who it was, and it was a similar role, and I role formed to Paris, and he had 2 hunters in Le Havre and Nantes, I think it was. And he was like, right, I need to get my guy. Oh, I think it might have been JB Philly. And basically then what he did was he jumped, the hunters left those ports with excellent weather, and I was sat in France. I'm like, oh, and they disappeared because they assumed I must have been landed. So, they land there, they couldn't find me. I managed to move away, and then I think he brought somebody back to Amsterdam, whatever, and they managed to find me in the end. But typically it's one of those where, now, all they had to do was walk on to Paris. But it's thinking about other ways to play the game. That's what I love about it is, actually, just editing myself there because I was boring myself. If this card evolves now, it's mature. If this was a mature in Lisbon, like we spoke about before, the oceans are free. So Dracula can go back to sea now after this, if this is the case.
Oh, you're right. Yes. He can.
So maybe he landed there thinking, nah. He knows that if it was a vampire, Godalming's left it. If that's a vampire mature, the oceans become free, and I would then have to say Dracula would win. Because by then, he's going to be up 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, he's got to land once.
Rufus will make it a little harder, but still.
Yeah, even if Rufus in, if this is a vampire and it matures, the oceans are free. You hide where you are. No, sorry, beg pardon. You go to sea, take 2 damage, and then all you got to do is land. Because even if you land, you'll win before the hunters have to finish you.
So he used Rufus to search to prevent Dracula from hiding in Edinburgh. Very clever.
That's clever.
Yep. So now Dracula has no reason not to feed here, because the hide's not going to do anything. You may as well feed first.
It still doesn't detract. I mean, if Lisbon is because it's going to be Drac's turn next. If Lisbon is a vampire, the strategy's still the same.
True.
Because if it's a 4, it's going to take him up to 8. Oh, I guess it does slightly change. Yeah, you'd have to go to sea. You'd have to then land twice. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, at this point, with assuming that it'll take, even if one of them has excellent weather, I guess 2 of them could have excellent weather, but you have to assume if you feed here, they're not going to hit you this next turn. It's going to be the following turn.
Yeah.
I'd almost be tempted to feed regardless. And if one hunter gets to me, we'll deal, I suppose.
I think you're right. Yeah, I think you're right. Because the reveal by Rufus only revealed the trail, not the event, so they don't know what's sitting there.
True.
I think you're right, yeah. You feed, if there's a fog there, you said excellent weather, the risk is whoever they send first will probably be the one with the forewarned, but you might be able to hold them off. Yeah, feed, take yourself back up to 8. And then mature this. I mean, wouldn't it be great if this mature card was a hoax?
Yeah, and
you
a
could
devilish
just be like,
power.
right, I'll just remove consecrated ground, thank you.
How about that? Then he can just mill about in the UK and just rake in those fury points.
Oh, what's he doing with it? Has he matured it, or does he have to layer it? He'd hate it if it was like a bats or something shit like that. Oh, what's he got? One to backstab.
Yeah, earlier when this happened, I was thinking that he layered it, but he was just picking what he's gonna play. Okay.
Ah,
Oh,
he
he
has layered
layered
that.
it. Must have been
Ah,
something lousy. That's a pity.
well, that's lucky. That's lucky for PirateJoe because he took the risk of leaving Lisbon. Fair enough. So he took that risk with the view that. See, that's the thing. That's why sometimes I used to like play. I like to bait a rumor token on cards that aren't vampires because I think had that been rumored, he would have had to check Lisbon. And if it was a fog, then all right, he would have been delayed. Would it make much difference now? You don't know. But I don't think he would have left it in the rumor because again, that would if that was a vampire, that would have been 7 damage now. Say it's a 4 damage. You know, that would have been
Yeah.
seven for Dracula. He's now on 11. Then he would just go to sea, land, and win. So
Dracula must have had a
yeah, I
really
think he.
hard time with his draws because we had two vampires early,
Mm,
one of which had a rumor, the other one did not. Understandable because it was
yep.
played in quick succession. Um, but Dracula didn't draw. Well, I guess Dracula, because of his aggressiveness in fighting the hunters, didn't draw new cards. He wasn't laying down new cards. So he was only playing cards once he got to Spain. So I guess it makes sense. He just didn't cycle his hand all that much.
Oh no, he's. Oh
Oh,
right,
well,
okay. Well,
I don't agree with that.
no, because you can't. No, he's. That's game over. I would say now because he goes to sea. He has to go at least 2 oceans, and that's 4 damage. Even if he lands in one more city, he's only going to do. That's only up to 10. Ah, no, I think he.
Maybe
I
he
think you're
thinks
right. I
he's
think he
going to
should.
lose and he wants to improve the IDS by doing hide first
Yeah.
before the feed.
Well, there's that. Yeah, you're right. You're right. It's in
Oh,
Manchester.
interesting. Okay. So there's a vamp in
Oh.
Manchester. If he survives long enough, I'm sure we get him to
Mm.
win. I like
Oh.
that play because even if the vamp even if there's not a vamp in Manchester, it might tempt hunters to go take it out. Probably
Hmm?
won't. He's probably gonna get 3 on 1 tier, but I like playing the rumor token anyway.
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah. It's like Popeye standing, taking a can of spinach before he has to fight everybody. It's like, right, okay, 3 against 1. I really don't like the odds. Let me just, okay, right, here we go. There's a great one as well. I can't remember the name. I don't know if you see. There's an achievement on this one where if you actually kill Dracula, I'm sure people will put in the comments once they do this because they'll know. And there's a tournament for actually, you get an achievement for actually killing Dracula himself. I've done that in a couple of games where I'm like, do you know what? I'm not going to give you the pleasure of killing me. And I'll just like go to sea and just like I just have visions of me just like saluting as I slowly submerge into the briny waves, and it's like, yep, I'd rather kill myself than have a hunter kill me.
Well, the funny thing, I
So
think that achievement on Steam is something like walk the plank or something. And for Pirate
ah
Joe,
right,
that's assuming I'm right about that. That is so appropriate for Pirate Joe. You know?
yeah, yeah. I need to ask Strider. I think Strider's been the only one that's actually tried to fill every achievement. I mean, you know, to the cost of him not winning any games, because he'd just rather get achievements. Like, are you going to play this or right? So let's see. What has he got? If he's got fog, risk is now. You've got to assume Godalming's got forewarned on him. So do you hang fire and hit it for Seward, but then does Seward have forewarned? You're on a 2-on-1. What would you have done? Do you think if you had fog in Edinburgh, would you have played it on Godalming at the risk and hopefully try and block him out?
Um, I don't know.
Because now if he tries it, he's now
Yeah,
got 2-on-1, so now there's no point. Yeah, I think you pull the trigger on the first one
yeah, I think I
and
agree
hope he
with
doesn't
that.
have it, and then you've just got a 1-on-1.
If it's
And
not
even
a
if Godalming's
fog,
got,
maybe this can
yeah,
be a mob or something, or a wolf try to hit all the hunters at once, so you have the
yeah,
possibility of killing
yeah,
one. I don't know. It's a Dracula's unlikely
play
to
it.
survive this regardless.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a
Play.
new
Oh,
vamp.
right, okay. Well, that'll
Uh,
hit them.
well, I don't know why you wouldn't do that and ambush every hunter.
Yeah,
Just to try.
yeah,
Yeah, see, PirateJoe saying you waited
yeah,
for Mina to
definitely.
do that.
Yeah, I don't think he's. Yeah, I don't think he's fully caught up with the rules yet, but that'll come. That's fine. Yeah, you would
Maybe
have just played that on each one.
maybe with the first one he was hoping that the hunters would be scared of forewarns. I don't know. Lucky find. All right.
Oh,
This seems like it's
bye
about to be
horses.
carnage.
God, yeah. Yeah, this could be. Oh, it's going to be. Yeah. Unless he wondered if I play new vampire against Godalming and by some chance he beats the new vampire, the other two hunters come on with nothing to fight. But then there's no way that could. You'd be struggling for Godalming to kill a 6 straight out the bat. And even if it had 1 health pursued, it's still going to do some damage. You've got to try and deplete their health somehow before they face Dracula.
Yeah, I agree with
But
that. And even if you lose and you kill a hunter, that's more IDS points. Just
yeah,
try to fight with all of them. Do as much damage as you can.
I think at the moment. All right, okay, yeah, that's fine. I think at the moment it's a bit. It's all just staying the hand of execution, isn't it?
I would think so. I think the only thing that's of interest now is if there's some way this vampire can do, you know, four. I guess really she's going to do 4 damage to Mina, and then create the possibility for killing Mina.
Yeah.
I would have to
I
say
mean,
that's unlikely.
oh, okay, there's 2 there.
Okay, well yep, 2 damage. The fight continues, and now Dracula knows Mina has a pistol.
So I've got this image in my head of Mina's fighting this. Meanwhile, Godalming and Seward are getting their their polythene waterproofs on like Patrick Bateman from American Psycho, just getting ready to take the fight with Dracula.
Yeah.
We'll just get prepared. I'll just put on some Huey Lewis in the news, and okay, let's begin.
Yeah, they probably got a Rocky montage going in the background. All right. So Mina
So,
does take 4 damage.
yep, yes. Well, it's a moral victory. There's something there. You take something away from it. The new vampire will crumble to dust once her creator has gone. But yep, you got something. A hell of a game, though.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
Not what I expected. Certainly not what I expected when you saw the first week. So it's just again, keep repeating myself, but it's worthy to. It's testament to the game that these things, and again, just the level of play. I mean, shout out to everybody. The level of players now in this community from when I first joined to now, it's chalk and cheese. I mean, guys are coming in that are just blowing people away with new ideas. Spencer, when he came in with his, and he's only been in. I think he joined not long before the very first tournament we did last year, and he came in, and he was the first one to really do the whole layer effectively, and it's been like, oh shit, that's good. And I've yet to see Vikashchek has followed in his suit, but I've yet to see anyone as proficient as layer as Spencer was. And yet you almost had it, mate, as well in your match. So yeah, it's the community's just getting, and I think that's why Nomad have come back and said we're going to invest in this and do some more work. There's I'd say to Scotsword, you've got to get the Spencer Pizzawizard match sent over to Nomad. They've got to put that on their channel.
Yeah.
If anything, it's a marketing, promo video for their own work anyway, if nothing else.
Yep. I
Anyway, is this a
completely
final
agree.
heavenly host or?
Nope. One health
Nope.
left.
One left.
You can, if Mina, well, Mina's got a pistol, so this is probably it here. Although
And
if for
Aggie's in
some
play as well.
reason,
Aggie's the ally, so yeah.
if for some reason Mina decides to punch and Dracula claws Mina, you can kill Mina, and then Dracula can die. But I have to imagine there's no reason for Mina to not play her pistol here.
Yeah. And even Seward and Examine play punch.
And it's a dodge. That makes sense.
I bet they've all dodged, and then they're all going to come back in the third round with full weapons and just.
Here we go.
Nope.
And that
There
is
we
a
go.
dead Dracula.
The war with God is
Gyro.
over. You must crimes.
Well, that was an exciting match. I am very excited that you're able to commentate it with me, Roscoe. I don't know when I'm going to have this released, presumably sometime tonight or tomorrow.
Oh,
Uh,
nice. That'd be great. Well, thank you. It's been great to come on your channel. It's been a great game to watch as well, so I really enjoyed that. And your company's been a pleasure, so I look forward to doing a few more.
yeah, I've been trying to get someone to co-commentate this one for the past 4 days, and I'm so very happy that you've stepped up to the plate. And hopefully, once this is up and ready and going on YouTube, the world who was not able to be up late at night on Sunday will be able to experience this.
Perfect.
Yep. All right. Well, with that, thank you, Roscoe. And
Thank you.
viewing audience, we'll catch you all next time. Have a good night, everybody.